Earlier today, President Trump met with Britain's Prime Minister Starmer. They discussed Hamas's remaining hostages. Watch this.
Look, Hamas did a horrible thing, and they paid a big price, but Hamas did a horrible thing. But I always said, when you get down to the last 20 or 10, they're down to 20. We got a lot of hostages out, and you helped us, by the way.
Yeah,
but we got a lot of hostages out over the last 6 months that I've been in. But I always said, when you get down to the final 20, they won't release them, because that's like their shield. Very unfair.
Right. Retired four-star General Jack Keane joins us here in New York this morning. General, if Hamas does not give up the hostages, what are the military options available to Israel?
Yeah, the Israelis have a campaign plan to go into Gaza again comprehensively to finish Hamas once and for all. And certainly what they're trying to do, and listen, we got to pin the rose where it deserves to be pinned. The reason why there's a humanitarian crisis and the reason why we're in this place, after 5 to 6 weeks of negotiations with Hamas, no deal. And the president is absolutely right. No deal, likely because the reason Hamas took the hostages in the beginning was to get to this point to guarantee their survival. This is the leadership survival. Now, so our audience understands, when end-of-war discussions took place with Hamas, not just a 60-day ceasefire, Israel put on the table, Hamas leadership, you're free to go. You can be exiled to another country. We'll actually help you to get there, and we're not going to track you down. And the rest of Hamas demilitarized. They said no to that deal. So you can see where they are. They're digging in here. And it's a challenging situation, and it's an awful situation for the Israeli people to be in.
When are we going to get some international condemnation of the whole idea of hostage-taking? It is barbaric and should not be a feature of modern warfare, but it is, and there's no condemnation of it.
And there's no condemnation of Hamas for the humanitarian crisis they're suffering right now. They blame the Israelis for that. And Hamas forfeited the deal. Look, at 250 trucks flowed on Saturday. The Israelis now are not going to conduct any military operations for 10 hours a day for a week or so. They'll hopefully get up to about 600 trucks a day, which is normally the humanitarian relief. So the Israelis are going out of their way to take a bad situation and make it better. But Hamas, nobody pins the rose on them. You're absolutely right about this. They are the cause of this. And that's got to be faced up. And I'm delighted that the president speaks up about it. Prime Minister Netanyahu speaks up about it, but you're right. Many people in the international community do not.
No, they shrug their shoulders.
I mean, 255 hostages. No one's ever seen a scale like that done before. After killing 1,200 people.
Let's talk the other side of the warfare fence here, Russia. President Trump's losing patience with Putin. He's moving up the deadline to reach a peace deal. Watch this.
Russia. Earlier you said that you were going to change the deadline from 50 days.
Yeah,
what is your new deadline?
I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today. There's no reason in waiting. There's no reason in waiting. I want to be generous, but we just don't see any progress being made. I'll say probably tonight or tomorrow. It would be sanctions and maybe tariffs, secondary tariffs.
Just to be clear, the old deadline was September the 2nd for Russia to agree to move towards a peace talks. Now the deadline is 10 to 12 days away from now. Are sanctions inevitable?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the president certainly has concluded that diplomacy here has run its course, and he's moving to confrontation. And that's what providing Ukraine with the weapons that they need was a major inflection point on his part. And now slapping sanctions, and because you've been reporting on it, Russia has challenges in their economy. They got inflation problems, they got currency problems, they have less revenue coming in than they would like to have. These sanctions are always challenging in enforcing it, and it'll take some time to take hold. But clearly Putin sees what's in front of him, that the Trump administration is not doing what he wanted them to do, and that is walk away. Because the president would be frustrated and he's finished with Ukraine. That's not happening. He recognizes that a stable Europe is in the United States' interest, and he cannot let Putin take Ukraine. He knows that, and that's why he's staying in here, supporting Ukraine and wanting to confront Putin. He wanted a better answer from Putin. Yeah. He didn't get it, and now he's moving in a different direction.
When we look at the war in the Mideast and the war Russia-Ukraine, it seems to be dominated by drones. They seem to be making the running. Is America's military adjusting to that?
Yeah. Very quickly. They know they have to adjust to it. I've been very close to the Chief of Staff of the Army. He's brought me out to 2 exercises that I've seen, one in Europe and one in the southwest of the United States, where he brought all these drones from various private companies, commercial companies in the United States. They had hundreds of them with the industry CEOs on the ground watching us use these. The Army and the Marines, particularly the land forces, as well as our forces in the Pacific, are very much aware of how drone warfare is dominating the battlefield. But frankly, we are in catch-up. Because look at the Ukrainians this year will build 4 to 5 million drones.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Last year they built 1.5 to 2 million. They could build 10 million if they had the money. It's just they have the capability in their defense industrial base. So warfare has changed dramatically. It doesn't mean that artillery doesn't have a place. It does. Doesn't mean tanks and armored vehicles don't have their place. They do.
Right.
Long-range missiles still have a place. But drone warfare has changed it.
Has anybody else got what I would refer to as a Reaper drone? It can take off, it can hover over a target for days on end and then fire lethal shots. Anybody else got that?
No. But what's dominating warfare today is not that type of drone. On a normal day, say a battalion of Ukrainians, 500-600 people fighting, in that normal day, they have 400 to 500 drones flying on behalf of that battalion, almost a drone per person.
Really?
So if an enemy soldier appears, they can kill it. If an artillery piece is found or an entire battery, they can kill it. If a tank shows up, they can kill it. That's the reality. The Russians just conducted a 20-vehicle attack over the weekend. They had armored vehicles and tanks. They had 40-something motorcycles, and they had buggies that they were using, all trying to avoid being detected. They knew the tanks would get detected, and they knew the other vehicles, but they wanted the infantry guys, and they're moving it quickly on a battlefield. So I'm surprised by the week and the month in terms of the dynamic change that war has taken.
You've got to come back soon, General. You've got to tell us about this, because this is fascinating.
That's
information we don't get anyplace else. General Jack Keane, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, great talking to you, as always.